is Koiro with another installment in my Christmas calendar series, and today we are going to take a quick peek of this. This is my Amstrad computer, and I do know that several YouTubers have filmed several of these lately. Noel at Noel's Retro Lab actually showed a series where he changed the display of one of these from a monochrome display to a color display. This machine here is totally original. I do have some floppy drives here that came with it. And this machine actually has two floppies, and this machine has a design that is like so. It should be like this, and this should come out like so. And this machine is actually Amstrad PPC 512. There also is a 640 version of this machine that I do not own. I only have this machine of this vintage Amstrad, and we will do some close-up of this in a moment. I do think that the batteries are removed from this. There actually is a battery compartment to run this on original C-size battery, and I do think they are removed. It's a battery compartment. Yes, but I will move the camera to do some close-up of this. Yeah. As I said, this battery compartment is in the bottom and it's empty. It does take on 10 cells of 1.5 volt. And this says that this has a DC input voltage of 12 volt. And it doesn't say anything if it's center positive or center negative. We have to see on the connector. It has a fixed carrying handle on this side. You do have the floppy drives. I can turn it around the right way. You do have both the floppy drives on this side. There are the one that has built these to contain a hard drive instead. On the back here there is nothing much, and that is because it is here you flip this open. On this side you have a row of dip switches, and there should be a power connector somewhere that we have to find, and this is how we flip it open, and we take the lid out like so. And here they have written with pencil, this is the A drive, this is the B drive, and someone has made a paper note how the dip switches should stay. I'm not sure how they should stay for what. You have a switch here for running this of battery or on power, and you do have some drive light, CRT light. This is probably if it's an external CRT. And you have the contrast and you have the volume knob. And this is not a backlight LCD, this is what they call the super twist. And the keyboard is kind of yellow, but strangely enough, the FJ and spacebar, the 5 on the numeric keyboard, the insert key has not yellowed, but all the other keys are approximately evenly yellowed. The floppy drives in this unit is 720K, that is normal on this machine. This is a machine that's in great degree looks like the Bondwell machine that we also feature in this series, and also the 1100 computer from Toshiba is based roughly around the same design. The differences are if there is an 8088, 8086, and if it's the CMOS versions and whatever on these microprocessors. Otherwise it's much the same. I'm not sure what this compartment is for. Maybe it is for the power lead or something. This And we turn the machine around on the back. We have this flap here that reveals the rest of the machine. Here you have expansion port. You have the special monitor connector that will fit the monitors in the other range of computers from Amstrad. You have this wide connector here is from external floppy drive, and this states expansion AB. I'm not sure what that is, but this is a normal serial port. It's a parallel port, and it's Amstrad CGA something video connector here. And here it's stated DC input. We have here a 12 volt adapter that should fit here. I will try the plug. Yes, it actually does fit. And here you have the bat off, X on, X off, bat on. So I will just try to plug this in. And we can try to turn it on. Yeah, this time it's about the Amstrad PPC 512D model. And this model is quite similar to some other variants of this. You have the PPC 640, that the main difference is that it had a built-in modem and 640K of memory. There also is stated that this is the PPC 512D, and D stands for dual floppy, so there probably was a version with just one floppy, although I can hardly think that that machine would have been useful for very much computer related task back in the day. And this machine is some places stated having a NEC V30 CPU, and some places it's stated that it have an 8086.2 8 MHz CPU. And the NEC V30 is actually compatible pin by pin with an 8086, but it's slightly faster as some of the instructions are more efficient and take fewer clock cycles on a NEC V30. And the machine was delivered with DOS 3.3, and it has, as we said, 2 times 720 kilobyte floppy drives, and it has a 102 key full size keyboard, so it has that going for it, that it has a okay keyboard for the price range at least. And the monitor is a so-called super twist monochrome LCD with no backlights whatsoever, and it should be CGA compatible. And as we see later on, the contrast on this display is rather horrible, at least in bad lighting. This machine was stated as possible to run on 3 power sources. You could run it on C-cell batteries. They should last up to 8 hours, but as this was not NiCad batteries, they was quite expensive to use. And it also has a 12 volt adapter to connect to normal AC, and it also has a car adapter supplied with it, so you could run this off the 12 volt in a car. And actually there is a 4th power source also, because you can connect this to the CGA compatible monitors from Amstrad and get the power supply through these monitors, as well as they have the standard connector as is supplied with the other machines. And the machines weigh about 5.5 kilos without batteries, and it comes in this nice backpack kind of carrying case. It did not get all positive reviews back in the day. Some of the quotes I've been picking up from magazines from the time is not that flattering at all. The general design and construction doesn't do the machine any favors. The old plastic case looks like some kind of high-tech vacuum flask. And they say that the weakest point of the machine is the display, and portable machines has a habit of being slow, and this one is no exception. They say that this is, I suppose this machine isn't meant as a laptop, but as a compact transportable. All the same, people will still try to use it on trains and planes. Well, good luck to them. So it sold quite well, but it was not the reviews that kicked off those sales, I think that's for sure. The service manual for this is available online, and this is a very strange manual indeed. About 1/3 of the manual, actually a little bit more, is dedicated to the floppy drives. And that is copied page by page from the vendor of the floppy drives. And the rest of the manual is about the rest of the computer. Of course, the part about the floppy drives are excellent, but the rest is a bit lacking. But it's not the worst. It's all the schematics are there, but not so much in the help of troubleshooting and so on. And the manual is available in different scans on different sites. And there also are some other YouTubers that has featured this machine. Most recent, I've followed the series from Noel's Retro Lab, where he took his PPC 512 and actually replaced the crushed display that was on his machine with a color LCD display, with a rather nice result. And there are some other YouTubers out there too, and as this machine was quite popular in England, I do think that this machine also was sold under the Schneider name in German, but I'm not sure about that. And you can see it come light in the power, and nothing much more is happening. There is some light in the display. I will try to turn off the overhead light and see if we are able to see something on this display. Like so. This is just a movable light, so yeah, this is the best readability I actually can get on this display. But it's said that you will have to insert a system disk, and I do have my DOS 3.3 7920K disk. And it does boot, and I can try with this fatally bad Tetris clone. The Tetris clone in itself was not bad, but okay, it's B and it's probably this key. Yeah, this is the attack Tetris clone. Arrow keys plus spacebar, it states. And I can see absolutely nothing. And this is the problem with these kinds of LCDs. It's not possible to decode old colors. So they probably show all of this in colors that we are not able to see on this LCD. We can of course try to connect this to external monitor and see if we get any picture on that. Yeah, that was as far as we got with testing this machine. As far as I know, this machine is in perfectly working order. It do have some plastic issues with some a bit bad plastic and things that could be fixed, among others the hinges here and the locking mechanism for the screen and so on, but otherwise the machine is in working condition. And this one I actually tried once before, and I did boot up some other games on this machine and it did start. I also tested this with an external monitor, but that monitor sadly I have borrowed away as a movie prop, the original IBM CGA monitor. So that's it for this installment in my Christmas calendar series. Hope you enjoyed the contents, and if you have some ideas for what we should do more with this computer, please let me know. Please hit subscribe so you don't miss the next installment in this series. Hope to see you in the next one. Thanks for watching.